Hi, I'm Rachel Dillon.
And I'm Marcus Dillon.
And this podcast is Who's Really the Boss, where we highlight the joys
and challenges
of running a business with your spouse or family.
Our mission is to strengthen families and businesses by helping listeners avoid the mistakes we have made so they can lead
and live happily ever after. All right, well, welcome back to Who's Really the Boss podcast. Awesome. We are fortunate to have a guest with us today. Welcome, Matthew Ferraro.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. You're an inaugural guest on this new setup that we have. So.
Sweet.
Yeah, we are. We're filming in a different recording studio today. Much better conditions and facility, and we're excited. And so Matthew is from the Katy Chamber of Commerce, and will you do a self-introduction?
Sure. My name is Matthew Ferraro. I came to the Katy Area Chamber of Commerce on April 29th, 2019. Wow. So we're coming up on 4 years. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Time's flying.
Yeah.
Time is flying.
So that's coming up, your anniversary this month, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to do something. You need to remember.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah.
And so Marcus, give a little background on how we came to know Matthew.
Yeah. So I've been fortunate since we planted the business here in the Katy area to be involved with the chamber. I would say probably going on a decade. It's probably added more gray hair than the regular business, but seeing the different life cycles of the chamber, obviously went out and had a search party for kind of the next level of leadership. Matthew won that spot 4 years ago. So very excited to have you on the team, but we believe strongly in the chamber, the local chambers, what they do for the community, what they do for small business owners, especially family-owned small businesses as an option to plug in, get to know others, and give back. So, right. But yeah, Matthew, you've worked closely with him. I currently serve on the board, and so that's been fun. Waiting for
my 19 bosses.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's always exciting.
Waiting for my time to cycle off. I guess I've been on for a while, and I've got 2 more years after this in an ex officio role, I guess. But yeah, it's been fun for me, just like it has been for Matthew, and getting to learn all the fun stuff like Robert's Rules of Conduct and all the, all the pomp and circumstance of running meetings.
Do we have a
stuff
motion?
Like yeah, I guess, yeah. I kind of look at Matthew in the meetings and I'm like, all right, somebody's going to nail me on this just because we didn't approve it and we're going to be here for another 2 days. Yeah. But yeah, so.
Have to hold another meeting to do it the correct way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Everybody wants to go on record to adjourn. That's the funny
quickest one. Yeah. Motion second.
Yeah. So they want to leave. So at my time as board chair, hopefully we run the fastest meetings.
They've been pretty efficient, we'll say.
Yeah, that's good. So, but no, appreciate you joining us today, Matthew. And so background on what Rachel and I have, why we feel led to have these conversations on a weekly basis is really just to speak into small businesses, family small businesses, or what we have a passion for, and all the things that happen behind the scenes whenever you're growing a business. And you deal with small family businesses a lot. You have a lot of interaction with small family-owned businesses, and Katy is small. At the end of the day, I feel like it's a very strong community. So just want to give a little bit of background about the chamber, how it solves some of those places where small businesses can come and what services can be provided.
Sure.
I'm going to interrupt Marcus there.
Oh.
Before we get started, we have to ask Matthew his best piece of advice he's ever been given. We don't let any guests come through without sharing that, so that at least if the rambling we do doesn't mean anything to anyone, at least they get a good piece of advice.
Sure. It's always top of mind because I almost think about it daily. About 2017, at my other chamber before I came to Katy, I was in Fort Bend, so most of our network was Sugar Land, Missouri City, Stafford. Rapid expansion growth in that area, and it was always I'd ask my boss all these questions. How do we navigate this? New election cycle came, so much change. What do we do? Her thing was never be afraid to fail, and so failure always creates learning opportunities. And so even with our team that we've created at the chamber with Ashley, Stacy, Rick, when he was with us, it was, hey, we're all kind of new to Katy. Let's try something. If it doesn't work, it's a learning experience. If you go out, you ask somebody a certain question and you didn't get the greatest response, don't let that let you down.
Yeah.
That's one person. We're up to almost 600 businesses that are a part of our organization now. How many of them need our support? So let's be mindful of failure is not a no. It's a learning experience or a navigation tool to get to a yes.
Sure.
And so that's what I've kind of learned. Took me 5 years to get to that best piece of advice, but that's kind of how we've built our organization in the chamber and the support of our community.
Yeah.
That's
great.
really good. That's
Yeah.
really good advice for the two of us just in the season that we're walking through in our business and taking a lot of risks, doing things differently than we've done in the past and differently than other people in our industry.
Yeah.
And so it's just really
But
not
you guys
being
are
afraid.
also trailblazers, right?
That's right.
At least I'd like to hope so. I mean, failure can be scary. Change is hard. Change was hard for me coming from what I thought was the greatest chamber alive. We were accredited 5-star chamber. You're a top 3%, 1% chamber in the country. Coming to kind of an unknown community to me in Katy, even though I lived here for 2 years, the opportunity was crazy. So taking that chance, taking that risk is leading you to new adventure.
Yeah. You come to that point where you'd rather see what's on the other side of that experiment or on the other side of that challenge, and you're okay if it doesn't fully make sense from a failure. I hate the word failure. I use experiment. So and then when the experiment doesn't pan out, it's a lot easier to exit the experiment. So, but yeah, you learn more from the failures and you grow more from the failures than you do the wins. Mm-hmm. And I think time and time again, you think about, all the great stories, Michael Jordan getting cut from his basketball team,
Mm-hmm.
just different things like that we all pay attention to given our interests in life. And time again, it comes back to you learn through the pain, you learn through the failures, and how you adapt, how you get stronger on the other side of that is who you become and part of your story. So it's awesome, man.
I love that. Thanks for sharing.
Absolutely.
Well, cool. But yeah, why don't you just give us a little bit of background on the chamber? You've already mentioned the team that you've kind of built out there and how we really serve small businesses.
Sure. And I'll kind of do a little history session.
Yeah.
Kind of what a Chamber of Commerce was back when they first came out in 1599 in Mars, someplace in France.
Sure.
It was a coalition of small businesses that were up against certain legislation or changes, and they got together to form a group. One individual business doesn't have a loud bark, but you get a group of them together, you can enact change. And so that's kind of how chambers started back in the day. And so they've morphed, and they're still morphing today. But when we came on in Katy, it was, okay, where are we? What is our community? What's our demographic? What's our business profile landscape? You're uniquely situated between 3 counties. You've got Harris, which is a melting pot. You've got Fort Bend, which is even more of a melting pot. And then you've got kind of a more rural but developing Waller County. That's unique in itself. But then you talk about Katy only being 19 square miles. There's a lot of leaders in this community, and so how do you develop those relationships to make cohesive business work? And so as people are looking to invest in their community and invest in the chamber, because the chamber's a little different than we're a business service entity, but we don't have anything tangible. It's not like we're doing your finances. It's not, we're not giving you marketing SEO things, but what we provide are those opportunities for you to connect. We educate you on those key industry needs for your businesses. And so it's really, instead of just becoming a member, it's getting engaged and getting involved as a member, because that shows support not only for your business community, your business, your growth, everything moving forward. So what we try to do is stay true to the roots of what a chamber is, being that coalition of businesses to drive better business environment. We want people to continue moving and opening businesses in Katy. That's why we have strong relationships with our elected officials, our cities, our counties, and just want the best for everybody. I mean, we're all here today because Katy is a thriving community. That's why we chose Katy. That's why Katy's one of the fastest growing communities. Fort Bend County, Waller County are growing tremendously. All the new development, Katy ISD, largest employer in the district, or in the district, in the area.
Yeah.
But I mean, all the rapid growth, people are moving here, and then they're starting jobs. All these people moving here, oil and gas, want to get out of that industry, starting to be entrepreneurs, opening up new business, finding creative solutions to problems they've found in their workplace. So it's how can we support them in their growth? And we utilize that to develop our strategic plans and create an environment for them to work together.
Yeah. Katy's been good to us. I mean, we planted our business here more than a decade ago, and you really didn't have to look hard to grow, just because the area was growing so fast, and it was good to us. Obviously, now you become more selective, or at least we have in our business, and you want to make sure that you're the right fit for businesses and business owners in the area. Katy has been so strong, like you said, from Katy ISD. The school district has done great things for the area. It's been well known all over the country. And then the other infrastructure that's in place with the hospital system and our partners there as well. And Houston has always gotten this bad rap, especially as West Houston, as kind of the oil and gas mecca. But we're starting to see more and more industries come alongside oil and gas and kind of dilute the power that oil and gas has had on the area. So that's also been interesting to see. And then even the further west expansion, like you said, into Waller, into Brookshire, Sealy, down I-10. You've got Amazon, who has a huge presence. You've got Tesla now coming in, has a huge presence. Igloo Cooler, which has always been there.
You've got Igloo, you've got Icicle, you've got Medline supplying all the hospitals out west with their products and services. Ferguson, you even got a Domino's that opened up a distribution center just so they can cover the entire Gulf Coast. Ross Distribution, we're working with Waller right now, the largest solar panel manufacturer in India is looking at a spot in Brookshire, I believe. And so we've been working with them over the last several weeks of getting them connected to the right resources, whether it be locally or statewide. And so it's exciting to see that growth in that different industry niche. But I mean, you're right. Energy and technology is kind of giving an option to oil and gas. So it's unique to see those new businesses pop up.
Yeah. And what we've mentioned just now are the big corporate, publicly traded stocks and things like that. Obviously, we play well with those teams, but it's interesting to see with those large employers also brings opportunity for small business. And that's our sweet spot. That's, I believe, where the chamber can kind of serve some of those small businesses. And if anything, like you said, provide connections, provide relationships so people realize they're not alone in this business journey. So tell us a little bit about the different programs that, not only that maybe you started, but that you've supported and grown given your time in the last 4 years, just how people can get plugged in.
Yeah, so we've created what we call our program of work, and it's got opportunities to connect. We say morning, noon, and night. Everybody's got different schedules. These mom and pop shops, whether it be retail restaurant, they can't come do anything during lunch or after hours. So we have a morning networking opportunity for them, which we held this morning. We had about 30 different local businesses come out and just talk about what they're doing, what issues they're having, how can anybody in this room support them, and if nobody there can, we try to be that support network for them. When we create our monthly luncheons, those are more geared towards your mid to C-level suite execs, marketing and other opportunities there, but those are your state of the cities, your state of the counties, healthcare, education. Those are going to bring your larger crowds. But what I try and tell people, that might not be the topic of interest for you, and that's okay. But the people in that room are the targets that you're trying to get and connect with. So it's not about the content, because the 19 square miles of Katy, that may not apply to your business, but those that want to do business within Katy, that's an opportunity for you to get connected with them. And so really utilize that as an opportunity. Then we have our after hours. A lot of people, hey, it's 5 o'clock, we're going home. Well, come out and network with us, build relationships, very casual setting. But then we've also developed a Leadership Katy program. It's a 9-month program where you get to know Katy intimately. It's been a great resource for us. We launched it in 2021. Yeah, class of 20.
Yeah, it's the second class.
Second year. So we're graduating. We just finished our Community and Cultural Awareness Day, which was incredible. Had a lot of talks on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Got to go see a lot of our nonprofits in our community. So it really, there's a lot of difficult conversations that can be had, but being the professional leaders in our community, we were able to have that dialogue and not have any hard issues, I guess. But it was very eye-opening to them to take back to their own workplaces. And then we'll graduate the class next month, early May, in Galveston. So, but it's a 9-month program that's designed to get to know local municipality, government, county government, education, healthcare, infrastructure, business resources. We do some team building exercises, disc assessments, and profiles, so you understand who you are as a person and how you work well with others. And that's kind of our opening retreat. And then we go to Austin to visit with our state officials. We fly into Washington, D.C. to meet with our federal officials and kind of get to know what's Austin doing, what's D.C. doing. Hey, Katy's small, but we have a presence in this community, and we're developing leaders to not just give back to our community through the chamber, but we're developing people that see the value in supporting our local nonprofits and other local businesses that want to grow and expand. And so we're providing this network of potential leaders for the community, not just for the chamber. So that's a program that's really taken off, and we've got a few other things in the works. One of our exciting partnerships that we've created is with a small business development center. They're housed within our office, so we see a lot of these people that come in and have an idea, and the SBDC supports them from that idea to an actual LLC or corporation, business, whatever it might be. And then it's almost like a natural pass off. Hey, you've created your business entity. Here's a chamber, here's another business association, depending on where they are, because it's a great resource for us, but we also understand we may not be the right fit for everybody as well. So our chamber is specifically designed more in a focus where it's B2B. We try to do some B2C opportunities, but there's other chambers and other business associations, and there's, 17 of them in the West Houston area alone that I can probably name off, but everybody's got a resource that can be of help. What we do is specific to kind of the Katy ISD boundaries, 190 some odd square miles, about 400,000 people in population. So it's a massive area. It's like the size of Pittsburgh next to Houston. It's crazy. Yeah. But all of our programs and resources are designed to support our small, medium-sized businesses. And then when our larger companies come in, that's where we have our partnerships with our cities and counties, local economic development firms to support them in their needs for their growth and as well. So it's a very unique ecosystem, and I feel like we're positioning ourselves to really have a bright future. But again, what can we learn? We're always learning.
Sure.
I learn from you guys all the time.
Yeah. We have a lot of failures to learn from. So
yeah.
There's that.
Experiments.
Yeah.
Experiments.
I love how the Katy Chamber is able to support both the large corporations and the small to medium-sized business. We started with the chamber more than 10 years ago, and just have seen the fruit of being in connection with, but even more so the friendships that have been made through there, especially when you leave maybe working for a corporation and then go to working for yourself or in a very small office. It's definitely helpful to have friends, like-minded friends surrounding you, and to kind of make those connections as well. You mentioned that this morning's breakfast was kind of small to medium-sized businesses and presenting some challenges they're facing. So what are some of the challenges that are coming up, and even maybe how somebody is supporting a challenge of another person within that group?
Sure. So some of them off the top of my, everybody's facing this challenge, workforce.
Yeah.
That's going to be, it's going to be a challenge everybody faces for a long, long time. Even with the larger company that's coming in, they want 300 plus employees, almost like that. Oh, good luck.
Yeah.
But here's the resource. We have Workforce Solutions. We have the district. We have our higher education partners. These might be great collaborators for you to create an internship program to drive traffic there. For our small businesses as well, it's okay. Well, another one, our interest rates are high. So what can we do? Well, their chamber can't really do anything with that, but we can connect you to we just had a roundtable discussion with some of our small businesses with representations from the Dallas Federal Reserve. And so they were kind of giving updates and expectations and forecasting of, okay, this is what you expect. This is what we're expecting in the next 6 months. Maybe you can shift your strategy to X, Y, and Z. Today, a few real estate agents, landscape seems to be doing fine in this industry or in this environment right now. But just biggest thing is workforce, and everybody wants to try to drive new business. So it's while we're watching these people talk and do their elevator pitches, or we're identifying, okay, this person needs a CPA. They're talking about their financial issues, and there's a CPA there. So it's almost like playing chess and checkers. It's very strategic, and not being like a puppet master or anything, but it's an opportunity to connect, and that's where I get the most satisfaction is you can have an event with 200 people, you can get sponsorships, and all that's great, and it supports our local business community, our programs and initiatives. But when you make that one connection, and that turns into a relationship, that turns into business, that turns into possible other connections and relationships and more business, that's the seed that we want to plant for everybody. And that's what gets me out of bed every day. From a business perspective, I got 3 kids that yell at 5:30 in the morning. But from the business perspective and helping and supporting our small businesses, it's finding those right pieces that can collaborate together. And if it's not the right fit, we'll find somebody who's the right fit. If we don't know somebody, we'll find that connection for you. Yeah. So it's really being that puzzle and making sure all the pieces fit correctly.
Yeah, just being a connector is really the main driver. And then it sounds like, I know it's being an educator as well, and supporting people along their journey, letting them know what options exist, it sounds like, is huge in today's market. And being that trusted voice, there's a lot of voices, a lot of noise in the market right now, and we see that even amongst other organizations, right? And I think having a home like the Chamber, where it is more relationship based, and it's not, we're going to push business cards and just try to build out our LinkedIn profile or whatever that could be for people just to get numbers. It is more about quality over quantity. Yeah. Said that backwards, but yeah, that's why we've found a home in the Katy Area Chamber, and obviously have given back in time and other resources. So you're doing a great job. I think keep it up. Keep doing the experiments. Keep learning from those. Yeah.
Well, this has been a great conversation. Yeah. Thank you so much for leading the charge at the Chamber and helping our community grow and just become stronger together. And then thank you for taking the time to be with us this morning.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, man. Get back to work.
Okay. Yes, boss.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging with us to the end of another episode. If you have thoughts, comments, or feedback you would like to share, please leave us a comment or review on your favorite podcast listening platform. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. Join us again next week for another great conversation.